So the Europeans are...
They're experiencing America.
They're finding out some things. Maybe we weren't exaggerating about the heat or other stuff.
Have you seen the German guy who's just been getting like the A-class tour where he just like live tweeted like, I'm in America, this place is great, Buc-ee's is very big, and now he's getting shown around by like business people like, come see my factory and you have the free stuff here. He's like a VIP guest of America, of the South.
Okay,
for no reason.
Imagine going to America
German?
and being shown around like you're like hosting a children's TV show, and it's just like la 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 la, and you're like, oh, this is the factory where the Americans get fat. Oh, this is a wonderful restaurant. La 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 la.
Yeah, for anyone not familiar, we got the World Cup going on here.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people from Europe and other places have come here, and then they're apparently experiencing America for the first time, not through just the internet. But then we get to watch that through the internet, so it's pretty great.
Yeah, I think one thing that makes me laugh is how many people have come to the conclusion, oh, no wonder they're all so fat.
Yeah.
Their food is so good.
Yeah. We shouldn't be eating it. We shouldn't be.
The number of people...
who would give it up?
Good as in tasty, not good as in good for you.
No, and that's like one of the videos I saw. Is like people like all the Europeans biting into burgers and shit, and just being like, "Oh, yeah, that's really good." And then it cuts to like just some American person just being like, "Yeah, it is. We didn't say it was healthy, okay? Like, but it's damn good."
That's why we keep eating it. We can't help ourselves.
Let me ask you something. You had that burger. Do you think that you shouldn't be allowed to have that burger? Don't you think you should be allowed to, even if it's a sometimes treat, have the burger? You should be allowed to have it, right? And they're like, well, boy, Jeff, I think I do. And they're like, that's what America is! That's why we're all fat, because we all came to the conclusion that, well, we certainly want it as an option. And when it's an option, you take it, you keep having it.
It's like one of those chart memes where it's just going around in a circle, and every point is, I deserve a little treat.
Yes!
I deserve a little treat.
My favorite is I think it sounds like he's Italian, and then he's flabbergasted that he could drink this tall glass of nice cold iced Coca-Cola, and then they'll give me another one for free.
And he's like pounding them back because he's like, my money's worth. Yeah, I've seen that one.
I could go for a nice ice cold glass of Coke, and frankly, anytime they give you something and they're like, you can have as much of this as you want in America, that means that they budgeted, you'll probably have a little bit less than the amount that we're charging you for it.
Yeah, so as of time of recording, at most establishments, when you get a drink, especially sit-down establishments, they're charging you about $3.
Yeah.
And that is an outrageous amount of money to charge for 20 cents of sugar water.
20 cents? A fraction of a cent.
Yeah, I was going to say that's me being generous here, shipping and handling.
I make them absolutely widen the shit out of the nozzle on the syrup container.
and so I personally have the rule that if I'm going to a sit-down establishment that offers free refills, I will always drink 3 drinks. Because I will pay $1 a drink. $1 a drink is a rate that I feel like I'm not getting gypped on. But if I only get 2 drinks at IHOP or whatever, I didn't get my money's worth. I'm furious.
Yeah, no, I remember when we would go to IHOP, we would always just leave the carafe of coffee on the table, man. Like
I'm imagining just like a gritty voice, like, it's what was promised to men to have $1 roughly paid out per drink by Ben Franklin and John McClane.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's my America.
That's my America. That's funny.
Roughly $1 per beverage.
Yeah, okay, these Europeans, they'll never know the true dollar menu of McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Back when we were at our height.
It's already extinct.
Our golden age.
Back when we were at our height.
Yeah.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah,
that's a fossil now.
When we were younger, we first started hanging out. That was one of the rants I delivered to them was, America is the best country in history because of the McDouble. The McDouble is how you know. The fact that you can buy this much acceptable meat and cheese for $1.05 for 99 cents is just...
I still will go on a fatty rampage where I stomp around going like, I should be able to take $10 and go to McDonald's and walk away with a bag of cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
I should be able to hand them out to people.
When it was like party times in this house, when we were all hanging out every night, and there was like, and Nick was still here, and we were just here every night, and there was like 10 people here every night. we would just like, all right, Tony and Kevin, go to the McDonald's. Here's like $80. Just go and get us all the food they have. And you'd come back with like 4 bags. Oh, we got like 30 sandwiches.
That ruled.
God, that was
incredible.
Do you remember? I see. I'm getting distracted now because this is like you guys have triggered me majorly.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
The 100 Nuggets night.
Yeah, the 100 Nuggets. This is a thing that me and some of our friends. You know exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, we brought that up on this podcast. In fact.
One of the things that me and some of our other friends do to annoy each other is just send each other ads of like, here's how much Taco Bell you could buy at 2004 for 99 cents, and like that just pisses us off every time.
Riles up the
I'm like ready to be annoyed at this. You guys just stepped on an autism landmine talking about fast food being over because fast food is over.
Yeah, it's I hardly ever get it anymore because it's just not worth the money. It's like if I'm going to pay that much money, I'm going to get real food at a real restaurant.
Same, and I don't know if you can hear how fat I am. I like to think you can. But like we're I
mean, I have an 8-pack.
We're yeah, I got more of a keg going on. I stole that from The Simpsons. I can't claim credit for that. We definitely were in the top 1% of fast food consumers at one point. There's no if we weren't.
We were reckless.
Yeah, we
young and reckless.
Yeah, we were the top 1% of fast food consumers. I'll never forget the first time I went out with Mario and our other friend, and we all came into contact with the mysterious power, and they just, as they're like, okay, I'm getting 12 soft shell tacos, I'm getting the full taco 12-pack, and the other one was just like, yeah, that sounds normal to me, let's get that too. Rob, you want that as well? Like, what? Even I wasn't that good then.
Yeah, that was, man. I actually looked at that the other day. You know, it's so expensive now.
Yeah.
I was like, the 12-pack, and I was like, you know, thinking about that night, and it's like, the days of yore.
Yeah. So obviously, to dovetail back into our original point, you know, if you're a European that can afford to come here and see the World Cup, you're probably not. Oh, this do Taco Bell. Like, I can't do I'm trying to do German like Village Boy. I'm trying to do Uter from The Simpsons and failing miserably. You know, they're not going to care that the cheesy gordita crunch is $5. You know, they're just going to eat it and go, "Oh, it's so cheesy and crunchy."
No, they've come to the elven lands after like the age of elves has ended.
Yeah,
It is the age of the orc.
It's the age of the orc now, and nobody's forged a magical sword here in eons, my friend.
And we have to get up in 4 hours to go to our work in Sauron's mud factory.
And with that, welcome back to Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mario.
And I'm Rob. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
And today, we're going to go into part 2 of my Dwarf series.
We're like a well-oiled fucking machine.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, last time I had touched upon, like, grudges and their physiology. And a little bit about the clans. And I'm going to go into a little bit more about the clans right now. So, the dwarves have a rigid sense of honor, which is centered around a bond or promise. If a dwarf makes a deal, he will remember it and keep to it, even at great personal cost. In turn, dwarves expect others to keep their word, lest they be seen as an oathbreaker. It is the worst possible insult to break faith with a dwarf, and a serious mistake. A broken bond will be remembered forever and inevitably avenged. Great breaches of faith are recorded in the Book of Grudges, which we discussed last episode.
Yeah, and like if they're gonna live longer than you, you know, like that's gonna be like Beans. That guy's gonna come after my son.
Yeah,
like,
it's heritable beef.
Yeah, like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Dwarves have very long memories when it comes to ties of blood, and they take their family obligations extremely seriously. A wrong done to a dwarf is a wrong done to his whole family, and an insult not only to the living, but to his ancestors and his yet unborn descendants.
My dad describes that growing up in Virginia when it was a little bit more rural. And like we live in Northern Virginia, which is basically like a DC suburb now, and it's very affluent and it's very
A lot of infrastructure.
Yeah, modern. It's modern.
Metropolitan.
Yeah. Metropolitan is a good word for it around here. Even though like we live in a suburb, it's still very much. It's not like a full suburb. And my dad describes that when he was young, this area had those. It had hill clans that hung around here. And that's the same situation where, like, if you ran across, like, the McGrady family has got 16 kids, and if you mess with one of them, you got 15 older brothers coming after you. Like, the whole family. It's the whole family that should have fought against you at that point.
What a crazy concept. Because we're so hyper-individualistic these days that, like, the idea of, like, not my problem, get the fuck out of here.
You're not from around these parts.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, my mom talks about that. Not that, but like similarly, how it's just like we'd be passing by plazas, and stuff, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, back in the day, this was just dirt.
Yeah,
There was nothing here."
Where I live personally used to just be like junkyards, like car parts junkyards, and like the dump.
It's crazy how things have changed.
Yeah.
Dwarves are very possessive, not the least about land and territory. Dwarf lands are divided into many clan territories. Clans are extended families, a group of dwarfs that can trade their line back to a common ancestor who may have originally settled a certain valley, built a particular stronghold, or excavated a specific mine. The many families of dwarves that comprise a clan share a common homeland, but may live elsewhere. Their homelands may have long since been destroyed, but a clan still maintains its sense of identity and dreams of one day returning to rebuild their ancestral home. It is every dwarf's duty to honor their ancestors, which means rebuilding and repairing ancestral tombs and singing the sagas of remembrance.
I feel like that kicks in them like a termite instinct, like ants feel like I need to tunnel into this dirt and bring food to Queen. They just like, oh, relic of ancestor, must restore relic of ancestor.
That's all they think about.
It just activates a part of their brain, and they go through a second metamorphic state.
Many clans practice unique skills that they guard from outsiders and even other clans. In effect, the many crafts guilds which teach the secrets of dwarven craftsmanship are also clans that trace their line to an ancient craftsman. Dwarves belonging to a crafts guild have a homeland just like any other clan's dwarf, but are scattered thinly across the dwarf and human realms due to the high demand in their skills.
It's like Final Fantasy or any not WoW MMO where you have like multiple kind of guilds that you're in, at the same time.
Yeah.
That was one thing about Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars.
Guild Wars 2, you can be in 5 guilds because you're supposed to have a guild for every different activity. And they were introducing, so like one of the things in that game is World vs. World, where it's like server versus server versus server, like PvP combat. And they were trying to do this thing where you could like ally with other guilds because they introduced mega servers, so being on the same server, you could play with people who weren't on the same server as you. But it made it awkward because you had to be on the same server to World vs. World. And they were restructuring the realm to basically be that you could like ally with other guilds and like be like linked in the World vs. World when it like switched over. And they ended up just removing that because it was too complicated, and they just added a 6th guild slot because just make this your World vs. World.
This is easier.
Yeah, this is just easier. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about food. So dwarves developed crops that could be grown underground in the chambers with filtered light. These were mostly grains, but some tuber-like roots and stunted version of fruit trees were also adapted. The vast majority of grain is used for brewing ale and baking bread. Dwarf farmers also cultivate several species of mushrooms. These are often used as seasoning, but used as staple crops in hard times.
Even my sweat smells like them. There's a dwarf in Billy and Mandy with the most aggressively muscular body.
I remember that, yeah!
And he hates the mushrooms because that's all they have to eat. They chop them down with axes because they're giant mushrooms and they're little buff guys.
The mushroom forests. Over their long history, the dwarves have cultivated an especially tough variety of barley. It can be grown in the mountainsides and is used to make beers and breads. This barley is stored in funnel-shaped granaries typically located within a hold. The grain is dried via residual heat from the hold's forges. During the Goblin Wars, hunting was all but impossible as roving bands of greenskins destroyed crops. The holds were starving, and as many dwarves died to lack of food as did the orcs and goblins themselves. To stretch their reserves of grain, the dwarves developed a tough bread known as stone bread. Stone bread, also known as Durazbrog,
like just
dwarf words.
Yeah.
You
don't have any facial hair, that's why you can't say it.
It's also known as rock bread or simply dwarf bread by humans. It is made from a mixture of grain, often wild varieties, and pulverized rock.
What? I feel like you could have just as much bread without the rocks.
That's a Discworld thing.
I was waiting to say it.
And the Discworld, the dwarves bake like combat bread. And it's okay, so it's not only like a combat weapon, it's iron rations. The joke being that you take out the combat bread and you look at it and you go, I'm not eating that, and that sustains you and you don't think about your hunger anymore for a while. So it's just made of rocks. It's just like
it's psychologically
like when
empowering.
they find the ancient dwarven king in the caves under the mountain or whatever. Like in his tomb, he's got we can tell that's him because he has the long baguette that he used at his side is still there, hasn't crumbled, still just as edible as the day it was baked.
That's awesome. It is usually made into round loaves and is so foul tasting that only dwarves can typically eat it. In some canon, it is very fortifying, but in others, it is known as a starvation food that keeps well but has very little nutritional value.
Yeah, it's mostly rocks.
You know, you got
those go right through you.
You got to eat something.
They just make you a little heavier for a while.
See, I would be much more worried that they don't.
Yeah. What if they don't?
Think of the constipation.
Well, of course, obviously, everybody knows that dwarves have an extra organ to break up the rock.
Yeah.
Deep in their beards.
I mean, if you ground it into a powder, I guess you'd still pass through, but it's still rock.
It's like plumping something in with sawdust.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no additional calories to be
Sawdust
gained.
is like cellulose fibers,
Sawdust would be markedly better.
Yeah.
Another staple of dwarven cuisine is blind fish. Because holds are largely cut off from the
easy
surface.
to catch. I'm sorry.
Because holds are largely cut off from the surface, dwarves cultivate these sightless fish in specialized underground cisterns and water reservoirs to sustain themselves. They are fed off of mushrooms and insects, also grown in the hold. If you remember in Gotrek and Felix, the dwarves over in the hold in the Chaos Wastes, they were eating blind fish.
Yeah.
Don't like eels live in the dark? Isn't that like an eels territory thing?
I think so.
You can't sustain eels in any kind of farming environment though.
Yeah, because we don't even know where they breed.
They
eels
go
are
they go to hide in the Bermuda Triangle.
Wait,
to
what?
breed.
Yeah.
All eels.
Eels are a very mysterious creature.
Yes. It sounds like I'm lying to you. This sounds like we're fucking with you right now. But genuinely, eels leave and go to the Bermuda Triangle, and then more eels come out. That's the eel mating season. You can't breed them in captivity.
Yeah, I have not checked into this myself, but I have heard about this.
What the hell?
You see that face? That's the face of the internet not telling him that I'm lying to him.
Yeah, it's wild.
I might be oversimplifying, but that's evidently a thing.
The oceans are just mysterious.
Before 2022, it was unknown. They figured it out.
Okay,
there you go. It's a little bit but that's still a very long time that it took.
Yeah.
That took way too long to figure that out.
And you can't expect me to keep up on eel news.
You're within 4 years. That's current enough on eels.
Dwarves breed small, shaggy, and tough breed of cattle and raise them along mountain goats for their meat, wool, and milk.
Cattle are little.
They breed dwarf cattle. Of course they
breed
do.
dwarf
That
cattle.
just makes sense. To me.
Wider, hairier, shorter cattle.
With a beard.
With a beard.
Yep, 100%. From late spring to early autumn, the livestock is taken to high pastures to fatten up on alpine grass. With the coming of winter, breeding stock is herded back to the dwarf hold and kept in shaft-lift caverns just below the surface. They are fed off of mushrooms and surplus grain, while the rest are slaughtered to provide meat for the winter. Cheese makes up a healthy portion of the dwarven diet. Dwarves prefer hard cheeses that age well and keep for a long time. There is a halfling joke that dwarf cheese can be used as ammunition in the event of a siege.
It's probably from all the rocks in it.
Like rock cheese.
It's Swiss, but instead of holes, it just has rocks.
Yeah. A fine slate cheddar.
And it's just his ridiculous, titanium dwarf teeth are just crunching through the rocks.
Yeah,
This is good stuff, yeah. It's good for your
Runic
teeth.
gilded teeth.
A runic grill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I want to do is master my craft and act like I don't know nobody.
Yeah. Obviously, dwarfs all just shatter their teeth by the age of 6 and put in cool runic prosthetics, and that's just a thing that they don't even think about. They're they don't. Well, of course I don't have my original teeth.
Yeah, we're weird for not having.
Yeah.
Do you mean your baby teeth?
How do you still how do you still have your teeth? How do you still have your teeth? He's baffled.
Yeah. Like your baby teeth? Yeah. No, your baby teeth fall out and your regular teeth.
And then you break them on the rocks.
Those break, obviously, so you gotta...
Because of the rocks.
Because what with the bread? The sandwiches, they're more rock than food. The rock tomato is the really impressive one.
So it's funny you bring that up because dwarf-human relations changed everything for the dwarves. As humans spread to the fertile lowlands, it became apparent they were much better farmers and herders than the dwarves.
That's because they have access to the sun. That's cheating.
They both have access to the sun. The dwarves are just living down there.
Yeah, but that's... Okay, that is a fair point. They picked to live in the mountain. I'm pretty sure they picked that. But like,
Yeah.
They
but like that's still like, of course, like the fact that they grow anything to live at all in the mountain is like very impressive.
Yeah.
It is. In
They
contrast,
season all their food with the same mushrooms they give to the blind fish and the dwarf cows.
So in contrast, dwarves were better at crafting weapons, armors, and tools. Thus it came to pass that each race fulfilled the other's needs at a time where both warred against a common foe, the orcs and the goblins. A natural trade developed between dwarves and humans, especially those that would become of the Empire. This accomplished three major changes in dwarf society. Firstly, dwarves had a more reliable means of obtaining adequate and varied food and supplies. Humans could cultivate larger variety of crops because of the various climate zones of their lands, whereas the dwarves only had mountains which were less fruitful. Secondly, the dwarves could compensate for the losses of some clans during the Goblin Wars. Many of the surviving farmer and herder clans were given leave by the High King to change their craft skill without dishonoring their ancestors. This helped bolster the miner and warrior guilds.
I'll talk to the ancestors. Okay, it'll be all cool. Like that's like
It's
like
no one's gonna be mad. There's literally no one in the triage and medics guild right now, and
the ancestors are pragmatic.
yeah.
That makes me think of. That makes me think of like I remember when Mario and I were growing up at the religious school we were at. One year they came through and they were like, "We're doing a special thing this year. This doesn't happen very often. You got to get on this." Where they're going to forgive all your sins all at once for real. It's all gone. You're good. You're back to the start. And that was like a major thing. And a lot of the more religious kids were like, "Oh yeah, I'm so on this." And I don't want to call myself an outsider to that system, but like as a more skeptical individual, I guess I'd say, I remember thinking like, what? Like, this is so odd.
Why
like,
are they handing out freebies?
He's going to be like, hello, God, it's me. It's me, Francis.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and, I wonder if you could help my friends out.
It's a whole thing in Catholicism. It's called a planetary indulgence.
Planetary indulgence.
Whatever.
Planetary indulgence.
Planetary indulgence is Galactus, like at 3 a.m. Like, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, whatever.
Planetary indulgence
Point
is a great prog
it's a
rock.
very controversial thing throughout the Catholic Church history because they used to sell them.
Yeah,
That's why Martin Luther with the Protestant Reformation.
That's the only
That's
thing
why
I
I'm a
said was
Protestant.
indulgences. They still have that because the only context I knew that word was world history class prior to
But it's like
there.
you gotta like do a thing or whatever, and it's like you do XYZ, and then it's just
You
like
have to go on a quest.
no, it's like you gotta go to confession, go to mass, whatever the fuck, and then
That's still free.
bing bang. You gotta go through the motions. Whatever.
God,
They'd be handing out
Bubby,
freebies.
can you forgive my friends for me, please?
No, you should have to like bring back 50 derelict crucifixes.
Yeah.
Like that aren't currently being used by anybody. You bring them into the church to be repurposed.
What was the enemy of the original Israelites? What was Goliath? He was a
Not a Philistine.
Philistine, yeah.
It was.
I'm going to need 50 Philistine foreskins or you're going straight to hell.
Instead of bandit scalps, it's Philistine foreskins.
and here's another idea. You can stop drinking. And then you'll just have the Take your foreskins! Shut up!
In other news today, all of Ireland and Italy converted to a different religion.
So lastly, a dwarven grain can now be directed solely to the purpose of brew production. Mandling grain...
We don't need to divert any to those pansy bread makers.
Mandling grain made good enough eating, but wasn't up to standard for dwarven brewers. Much more ale could be produced now that their diet was supplemented by their human trade partners.
God, that is so great. They were like, we can just get bread, and it's good bread. So you guys won't mind if we just go whole hog on this?
They're like the entire purpose of their economy and existence and all of that is to get more beer. And it's like, oh, the bottleneck is gone. Okay, great.
Open the floodgates!
So now I'm going to go on a little bit about gold and wealth. Hoarding wealth is a great passion among dwarves. They are an industrious race and work hard for their riches. When a dwarf dies, his possessions are divided amongst his family, and so are passed from generation to generation. A family's treasure is held dear as both a source of wealth and a link between the living and the dead. No dwarf feels secure unless his treasure hoard is heaped high enough to sit on.
No, that makes sense. I think that's like a longevity thing. It's the same thing with dragons, right? Like, oh, they're magically compelled, or they eat the treasure, or something like that. But, like, I mean, if you're, like, really old, like, if you're, like, living to be 300, or whatever the super hyper long beards were, like, living to be, like, that's... I mean, obviously, like, old people have a lot of money because they've been working their whole lives. We know that already. Yeah. But, like, a hyper old, like a 200-year-old person has probably been working a long time, made a lot of swords or whatever, farmed, made a lot of beer, who knows, probably has a lot of money, and, like, at a certain point, like, what else are you doing? Like, if you're, I feel like I don't know, I feel like desire for wealth, and especially, like, the kind of wealth that goes through generations, correlates with age. I feel like those things just go together.
And it's funny you bring up dragons. So, like, I went over in the High Elf or the Dark Elf episode how, like, you know, Caldor Dragon Tamer basically made a symbiotic relationship with the dragons of Ulthan. Mm-hmm. So there's a fascinating thing in the real world where humans and wolves basically can't coexist because we're just too similar. We want the same things, we want the same game, we want the same territories. Mm-hmm. We have the same mentality about a lot of things. We are so similar to wolves that we basically destroyed them because we can't coexist. That's why we made dogs.
I never heard that. Interesting.
We turned wolves into dogs because we can't coexist with wolves.
We occupy the same niche.
Dwarves are so similar to dragons that the exact same thing happened. Oh, buddy, we can't be around each other. Yeah. We both like money.
This mountain's for you, this mountain's for me. This mountain's for you, this mountain's for me.
Nope, they couldn't do it. There's actually an event called the Forgotten Dragon Wars where the dwarves just basically genocided as many dragons as they could across the mountain.
We have the surest peace you can have in the Warhammer universe.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
The peace that forms after the understanding of, and if I see you, I try to kill you, and if you see me, you try to kill me, definitely, every time, no middle ground. Deal?
I'll go into more detail when I talk about the dwarven history, but yeah, there's like a whole, like century-spanning arc of the Dragon Wars, where basically the dwarves just, it's kill on sight.
No, that's like a me and my friends would have killed ET with hammers moment. Like if they were dragons, I would not like that.
I would not be cool with that.
I would not be cool with that.
Like, a magical lizard that's just better than me. No one's better than me.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know that because I am not cool with that. That means a significant portion of human history preceding would have been extra not cool with that, and there would no longer be dragons. So we'd have killed those already.
So famously,
with hammers,
Stephen Colbert had like the running joke on the Colbert Report that, like, bears were the biggest threat, and everyone laughed because obviously the scary thing about bears is that they're a big, scary animal. They're not, like, an existential threat. But imagine if a bear was also, like, able to fly.
And cast Fireball.
It can cast Fireball, and worst of all, it's also an asshole.
I was going to say, it can just talk shit to you.
Yeah.
It can be flying around destroying your village and being like, fuck you!
I can't imagine. We would be so passionate about it.
Yeah, no, the dwarves really don't like dragons.
No, that's
completely reasonable.
There's a whole class of Slayer known as Dragon Slayers, because basically they like, oh, I need to... Wow, I haven't died to the trolls or the other things I've been slaughtering. So let me go find one of these lizards and just murder it.
They're not just assholes who kill you, by the way. They're assholes who kill and rob you for money they don't even use.
So one thing that's theorized, this is like mentioned in the lore, but I haven't found an actual source of it. The dwarves believe that gold sings to dragons. And they actually can, like, listen to it, and it actually makes, like, a melody to them. And that's why a dragon knows when it's been robbed, because it throws off the melody, and they get fucking enraged.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
It's like when you open up your desktop and you see that there's a blank space where you know it should be covered completely in icons because you don't organize anything, and you're like...
Maddening.
What the hell happened to that? What was there?
The subtle horror of the familiar becoming unfamiliar.
Yes.
So dwarves have
breathe fire.
Dwarves have a particular fondness for gold, which borders on the pathological. An affliction known as gold lust or gilded fever is common among dwarf miners who reap seams of it from the earth. Symptoms vary: insensibility, coveting, desire for physical proximity to gold, and even violence.
and scrapes on the genital region.
Finger steepling.
Finger steepling.
Hands rubbing avariciously.
Avaricious hand rubbing. General ghouling.
It's like the what's Roger's special power, and he's like he shits the gold with the gems in it.
It makes people want to kill.
Yeah, it drives the guy insane.
Immediately.
It's beautiful. Like
there's in the Grudge Lore book, there's like an expedition. I forget exactly where they're going. They're like, there's a bunch of dwarves going on an expedition, and they come across like a treasure hoard, and two of the dwarves instantly go insane, and they just like basically like Tom and Jerry like scrabble towards the money, like risking life and limb, not caring about the consequences. And one of them falls into a sulfur pit and just drowns in fucking sulfur. And the other one gets killed in a cave-in because it wasn't like steady ground.
Yeah.
And they put them both in the Book of Grudges. Like, their clans have been dishonored. Like, look at this fucking shameful ass behavior.
Yeah, no, I mean that's logical stuff to me. I see it.
They pulled the dwarf equivalent of when a Looney Tune goes like their head explodes, their eyes get all huge, and they do the wolf whistle, and they just have to run, arms outstretched, homina.
A Tex Avery character seeing a pretty lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Dwarves have several names for gold and acknowledge different types depending on value, weight, luster, color, and even its history. Some of the types are Bryn, which is a particularly shiny and lustrous gold; Galaz, a decorative and ornamental value; Gol, soft and yellow in color; Gorm, old gold passed down through many generations and left undisturbed in treasure vaults; Conch, ruddy reddish in color; Rill, gold ore recently mined; Froll, lucky gold; Kurz, unlucky gold, which has been used in misadventure or the recipients have fallen of foul circumstances, such as gold that has been used to pay for inferior goods.
Those are all the tags on Ore Hub.
I cannot believe you made it to 8. When like I figured it would be 3. You know,
after you get
after 3. Okay, that'll be all. I cannot believe that you just rattled off 8 different dwarven words for gold. Again, like I never heard that, but I love that. That's so good.
Every single time you were naming a new one, I was like, okay. I gotta do my bit here, but another
I am shocked that like, is that all from one book? The 8 different words that you just came up with?
I think at least a few of them are from the Maticate novel, when his buddy basically like took the dwarven tongue really well and was like telling Maticate, "Oh, dwarves are so cool, let's know this crazy stuff they think." And Maticate's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah. I don't care how many words the Inuit have for snow.
Yeah.
We're here for, like, pillaging purposes. We're fucking elves.
I brought this up in the Dark Elf series, but I'm going to bring it up again. There's a scene where basically Malekith encounters the dwarves for the first time, and he's like with the Karat-Karatran dwarves, and they bring him to the High King, and they have like this big old feast in their honor. And the dwarves don't speak a wink of Elven. He doesn't speak a wink of dwarf. And each of the dwarves are like, the important dwarves stand up and give a big old speech.
Oh yeah, the speech thing?
Yeah, and like it's Malekith's turn to give a speech, and he gets up and he's like, to my new friends who have invited me so graciously into their home. And he sits down, and his buddy's like, they want you to do more. And he's like,
but they can't understand.
But they don't even understand me. And they're like, well, just say something. And he proceeds just to talk shit for like 5 paragraphs.
I would rhubarb.
This guy, ugly as hell, but he brought me my drink, so thanks to you as well. This one smelled weird, but I found out that's because he had a pleasant tray of food.
Or that's like, I would do like filibuster. Like I would do like, read Bible passages in a line, or just read the Constitution, you know?
I'm thinking about later tonight, I'm going to have some drinks as well, and none of you can understand me, so hope you have alcohol and not just poison. I get a lot of poison back home. Like, he just goes on and on.
Just rambling. There's also Oath Gold. Oath Gold is one of the rarest and most valuable types of gold. It is a brilliant, lustrous gold used as one of the ingredients for forge masters and runesmiths in crafting powerful weapons and armor. In its raw state, it is heavy, unyielding, and practically impossible to melt with standard heat.
Cool.
When dwarves gather for an evening's drinking, they often sing the Gold Song. During the Gold Song...
Come on!
No, that's... Pratchett has that too. In Pratchett, the Gold Song is literally gold.
Okay, so this is a much different song. During the Gold Song, dwarves sing about gold, and each drinker sings a different verse in turn. Each dwarf must use a different word for gold when it is his turn, and any dwarf who repeats a word already sung or can't think of another word for gold pays a forfeit, which is typically another round of drinks. A dwarf will often invent a new word for gold rather than admit defeat, and if this new word goes unchallenged and he avoids the forfeit, another word for gold is invented.
Oh, like Scrabble or music.
It's Scrabble, yeah, just like Scrabble.
Yeah.
That's how I play it. You let me use the word Snaggleface last time. Snaggle is perfectly reasonable. You know Snaggle. Why not this one?
Snaggleface. What is Snaggleface, like Sloth from the Goonies?
A Snaggleface would be very much like Sloth from the
Okay.
Goonies.
And now we're going to talk about Gromril, which is basically the setting equivalent of Mithril.
Oh.
Gromril, known as meteoric iron, star metal, or silver steel, is the toughest and sturdiest metal in the known world. It is forged by dwarves into the best and strongest weapons and armor, and whereas no weapon made by mundane means lasts forever, the exception is items crafted of Gromril. In the ancient past, a meteor crashed from the sky to make a huge crater out of the rocks of the World's Edge Mountains. It filled with meltwater and became the vast lake known as Varn Duraz, or Blackwater. All around the shores of Blackwater could be found Gromril, and Karak Varn was founded on the cliffs out of Blackwater to mine it. Gromril is a favored metal of dwarven runesmiths. It holds runes better than any other substance, and only runesmiths have the knowledge and skill to work the exceptionally hard ore. Thus, Gromril armor and arms are quite rare.
Even a big meteor, that's not a lot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's literally the rarest metal in the world. I think the only thing that rivals it is Ithromar, which Ithromar is only under the mountains of Kaldor. And like, whereas Gromril is like super sturdy and heavy and hard, Ithromar is basically weightless. So the only way elves who are very like dainty and can't like, you know, they don't have body mass, they can wear full plate made of Ithromar.
Yeah.
That's like the only way they can wear.
Like in D&D, how like certain armors don't encumber or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's your full dex mod.
Yeah, so like the elven steeds, which are like faster than everybody else's steeds, are the dragon princes. Theirs are covered in Ithromar armor, so that they're basically not weighed down. They can go way faster than heavy cavalry should be able to go. Many times more precious than gold, Gromril is used to make armor and weapons for dwarven nobility and the elite military units like the Ironbreakers. Because of its rarity, dwarves do not trade items made of Gromril to other races. Gromril armor is only made for dwarves and impervious to blows from lesser metals. Gromril plate armor is nearly priceless, and wars have been fought for mere possession of a full suit. The magnificent armor of Brock Beetlebrow is said to have held up to the blow of a giant. Right
The
now,
magnificent armor of Brock Beetlebrow!
Gromril weapons have the same characteristics of their steel counterparts, but can never be broken by normal means. They are typically inscribed with runes, making them fearsome weapons. The legendary Galmaraz, the Warhammer, and the rune fangs of the Electrocounts are all forged from Gromril.
Oh.
So,
The reason that the setting is called the Thing.
I brought this up in the previous episode. Typically, an item can only have 3 runes.
Yeah.
Sources vary, but the Galmaraz probably has 5, and they're probably all master runes, making it one of the strongest. That's why it's like the Warhammer. Like
+5.
It can't be made ever again because like the way of doing that is literally lost. It was made by Grugny himself, apparently.
A god had to come and invent and simultaneously erase knowledge of it.
And I'll go into this a little more intimately when I talk about the history of the dwarves. But the rune fangs were gifted to Sigmar after he made his friendship with the dwarves and ended the Goblin Wars. And there are 12... They're basically arming swords that are extra long and have a hilt for 2 hands. And they're inscribed with 2 master runes, which is, once again, is typically impossible. You can only ever have like 1 master rune on an item and then like lesser runes. And they have the master rune of Alric the Mad, which completely bypasses armor, making them effectively lightsabers. And then the master rune of Scalf Blackhammer, which on the tabletop means you always wound on a 2+. So on a D6, you only fail on a 1. Which is like fucking
83% hit chance.
Yeah, fucking bonkers. Because you could go up to like a giant or like a dragon and just like, whoop, and just fucking mollywop them.
So I hit him with my hammer. Drive me closer, I want to hit them with my sword.
Yeah, it's so good. And then, yeah, no, they're very cool stuff.
So let me tell you, just for a moment, let me break away to explain my layman understanding version of Warhammer history. Is the fully formed dwarves living in their like mountains, and then the fully formed elves living in their glorious like castle trees, and then over to the side is like, you know, Australopithecus. And then, like the entire scene is like a freeze frame, just fast forward time lapse of like millions of years as like humans start to like they become proper cavemen, and then like all the different things as they like go upright. The dwarves and elves. They've not only not like changed aesthetically, it's the same guy.
It's the same guy. Yeah, like an elf is like, I'm gonna read these books for a little while, and they look from the book, and they're just like, hello, I am Sigma. I'm here on behalf of the Empire. What?
I am king of the Britons. The who?
Yeah. You guys can talk? Since when?
Yeah, oh shit, that thing can talk!
Yeah.
So, I might have mentioned it in the Dark Elf series, but there's a scene where Maticate is like hanging out with Snorri Whitebeard, the king of the dwarves, and they're going on an expedition, and they encounter some like feral humans, and like up until this point, two of things happened when they encountered humans. They either screamed and ran away, or chanted things to their dark gods and suicide rushed the elves and the dwarves. Mm-hmm. There's a binary like equation.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of two things are going to happen when we come in. And then they encountered some humans that like were like kind of like cautious at first. They were excited to see them, and they brought out like crude tools and like gifts for the dwarves and the elves. And they decided to follow them back to their caves. And when they got there, they showed them like a cave painting of Grimnir. And Snorri is like, his mind is fucking blown. He's like, holy shit, they saw Grimnir attempt to close the Chaos Gates, and they think he's a badass. That's fucking cool. And Malekith's like,
damn, I knew you guys were cool. And then like what's the stereoscope or like just the traced over GIF of just the two of them doing like a really complicated like
the handshake, yeah. And Malekith's like, they're savages, Snorri, and he's like, but they don't need to be. Like, perhaps we could teach them language. Perhaps we could teach them things.
Give them all the MREs and lightsabers we have.
and then Maticate,
they know what's cool.
And then Malekith's like obvious conclusion is what, to use them as laborers? Like what's your end game here? And he's like, no, like they could be like allies against the War of Chaos. Like these guys are cool. And they're like debating about like what do we do with humans? Like what is the fate of man? And like
they're using clubs and shit, Snorri. Be reasonable.
Yeah, it was a cute little scene. And now I'm going to talk about...
The orcs have a fully functioning Cockney society right now. These guys are still figuring out sharp rocks.
Now I'm going to talk about the Expatriate Dwarfs. Now, there is a canon conflict about Expatriate Dwarfs. So, in old lore, the Expatriate Dwarves are a distinct subculture of dwarves that are removed from the Imperial Dwarves. Mm-hmm. Imperial Dwarves being dwarves loyal to the Karazhan Corps, or the Karazhan Corps, which is the Dwarven Empire. Mm. In modern lore, Expatriate Dwarves are Imperial Dwarves, because an Imperial Dwarf means you live in the Empire. Mm. So there's a canon conflict with that in the terminology. So I'm going to use Expatriate Dwarves as a lot of the stuff I got was from older editions, and I'm kind of going off of that.
Warhammer stuff is like full of that. It's been around for so long. It's been around for so
30 years?
Yeah. A heavily editorialized universe.
40 years.
Yeah.
40 years.
Rogue Trader was from the 70s, I thought.
80s.
Oh, okay.
80s. But yeah, like Warhammer basically started in like 82 or something like that. Like it.
Yeah, been around longer than us. So like it's just,
it's fucking old.
The people that wrote the original stuff aren't alive anymore. Like,
well, it was so crazy.
Or at the very least, they're certainly not being paid still.
It was so crazy being a little kid and just getting into it, and like fucking like 30-year-old, 40-year-old grognards come in. And like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and I was playing this, and I'm like, well, you're fucking old, like,
yeah,
and
now that's me, yeah, it's become me,
yeah, wow,
sunrise, sunset,
how the world turns,
sunrise.
It's super surreal because so many people got into the hobby in 8th edition 40k, and when I tell them I started at the cusp of 3rd edition 40k, like their eyes like explode out of their head. They're like, dude, you've been playing for so long, and I'm like, yeah, kinda. It's kind of wild, but. Referred to as manling dwarves, among other things. Expatriate dwarves get little respect from their mountain-dwelling brethren. Some are outcasts or refugees, while others chose freely to live among humans. And then, there's a canon conflict that Imperial Dwarves also refer to Expatriate Dwarves in modern lore, but refers to a loyal dwarf of the Karazhan court in older lore. Because they have been largely integrated into human society, expatriates have modified, or in some cases abandoned, a number of dwarf traditions. That's going in the book. One of the discarded traditions involves dwarf women. They are free to travel anywhere outside their settlement without armed escort. Additionally, they can seek employment available to their menfolk. In fact, almost all female dwarf adventurers are expatriates. While clan members remain a strong element of expatriates, the concept of an entire clan belonging to a specific guild has all but disappeared, save for the Runesmiths clan. The traditional structure was incompatible with the realities of human life. A dwarf clan of 25 members cannot all be metalsmiths in an area that can only support 4. Instead, a few would become metalworkers while the others chose other careers like masons, militiamen, or traders. Some engage in less savory trades that are somewhat dishonorable in the eyes of their peers, like rat catchers. Which, it's funny because...
It's just easier because we're lowered to the ground.
Well,
it's just advantageous to take it as work.
Well, and it's funny that the book said that because, like, the digivolution of rat catcher is Skaven Slayer.
Yeah.
Like, that's the true rat catcher, is you're hunting the fucking Skaven, which, that's honorable work. Like, that needs to be done. Someone's got to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, so I thought that was...
It's some of the most important work in the world, actually, if you look at how the world ends.
Yes, specifically with dwarves. Like, the dwarves have been fighting the Skaven for so long, and it's been so heinous that, like, you'd think they'd be like, go get them, boys!
Rat catching's fine work.
Yeah. That's like they've been integrated with the humans for so long that instead of being like Snorri Ironbender, it's the Snorri Bag Seller, third generation drug dealer.
That's awesome.
Head of the drug dealing guild.
That's another thing we can tie back into Discworld is like that's part of like dwarf cuisine. It's rats.
Yeah, they eat
They
rats.
just love to eat rats.
Oh, man.
I'm stealing it
Catch
for
up.
some nonsense. The Dealers Guild.
The Dealers Guild. I love that. In the absence of noble clans, expatriate dwarf communities are led by a council of elders. Council decisions are based on the consensus of a majority of elders, which is often hard to achieve. The council also selects representatives for dealing with local human nobles, town councils, and other ruling authorities.
Like, imagine how much just like opinion detritus you collected by 200. Like how you just have an opinion about everything the older you get, and like the less anyone cares as you go. Like imagine like if that wasn't true, where the older you get, the more people have to care as you go, and so by the time you're 200, you're just like impossible to talk to. Like everything, you already know everything. Like anyone
You have
trying
it
to
all
talk,
figured out.
He's just going
seen
to-
it all.
He's
Yeah.
just going to complain that they don't sell Sobe lizard milk anymore.
yeah, exactly, literally, yeah.
What the hell is
That's the only
Sobe lizard
That's the
milk?
only thing he said for the last 38 years. None of us even know what he's talking about.
I don't know.
Because that's literally... The kids don't know about the
Yeah,
second
No.
We're 30 whatever, and we're already like that. Like,
Yeah.
I would be
200?
I would be totally impossible to deal with. Like, I'd be, but did you know that's like 160 years ago? No, Grandpa, we fucking don't know about that. No, we don't know about the Civil War. Like, we weren't alive for that.
You'll never see the Tang chimpanzee in space.
What the fuck is a Taco Bell dog, Grandpa? Shut up.
You killed Taco Bell.
God damn. That used to just be what people called Chihuahuas.
Taco Bell
For like a decade.
Yeah.
That was how the American knew that animal. Oh, they have a little Taco Bell dog.
Or like another one, Austin Powers. Do you think the kids know who Austin Powers is?
No way.
Because it's literally impossible for someone in our age bracket to not like that. Like that took over. Maybe it's because we were young males. You know, that's probably something. That was the thing that like took over society. Like
It was also pre-internet proliferation.
yeah. And
It was at the cusp, yeah.
And that was like, I'm pretty sure that they just didn't make a James Bond movie for like 3 or 4 years because Austin Powers ruined that so hard.
It really just knocked the wind out of their sails.
Yeah.
They made Pierce Brosnan go home.
Yeah, they did.
We don't care where you go, Pierce, and he just looks at him and smolders, and they're like, take it somewhere else.
towns and villages, in smaller towns and villages, expatriate dwarves are considered part of the community, especially in the Empire. They generally follow the same laws, customs, and traditions as their human neighbors. Other clan members of these dwarves are often scattered through nearby villages and small towns, and get together every 33 years at a pre-established location to celebrate one of Grugny's holidays, exchange news and gossip, and pay respects to their clan elders.
I'm imagining the conversation is like, you don't even pay homage to the ancestors. Well, we do it. It's sort of like a Christmas and Easter thing. What the fuck is Christmas and Easter?
That's awesome. And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this content, go and give me a like and subscribe on YouTube, and go give us a follow on Blue Sky. And you can support us on our Patreon. And I'd like to give a special thanks to our Patreon subscribers, our aspiring Magus Champion 1209, and our fellow Scryers, Maticate, GaryGoblino, MidniteGrimoire, The Greater Good Boy, Kinomajaro, Wanrical Barcis, Janklord Emperor, Grimothy, Bread the Gnarbarian, and of course, my mom.
Thank you guys. Love ya.
Bye.
Nighty night.